Hi, welcome back to the Projects in Dad's Garage. So last week we left off on the NightOwl filament changer, and we're going to pick that up again today. I printed out the part that I didn't have right last time, and let me go grab that. Let me go grab all the stuff actually. We're down to just a few parts, but so here's the part. Once again, it warped off the bed down here in the corner, and I can't figure out why. Clean the build plate. Same spot every time. Anyway, so we've got that. We need to pull stuff off of here. Let's go ahead and grab some Allen wrenches and pull this stuff off. Let me adjust this a little bit. Back, raise it up. Right. That'll do, I guess. So this one, the difference between them is this one has cutouts and places for magnets, so it just magnetically attaches to the top. This one does not. Not sure why there's two different ones. I can't find anything else that would go with this, so maybe this is just left over from an old revision in the repo or something. All right. Let's go ahead and get my heat set press heating up so we can put some heat sets in here. And while I do that, let me change this camera so it's not jumping all over the place on you guys. All right. Hopefully that angle works. If not, let me know and we shall change it. We need to get some magnets out. I just ripped out a whole bunch of magnets from tearing the ERCF apart. I finished doing that we started on Wednesday. Kegel, how's it going, man? Thanks for joining us today. How's your weekend going so far? Oh, dude, that sucks, man. Sorry to hear you're at work. You work like you always work weekends, or is it one of those like 3 days on, 4 days off kind of thing? You know, knowing that this shift work, ooh, I think you work in a factory of some sort. Chemical plant. I used to drive by DuPont Chemical in Delaware all the time. Knew a few people that worked there. It was apparently a very well paying job, and that was back in late 90s, early 2000s. Lee Marie, welcome. Front Father, how's it going, man? Jack, Jared, whole bunch of you guys. Welcome to the stream if you're new. Rob, Wick Central. Yeah, I appreciate the raid, Lee Marie 3D. It's awesome. We are in the middle of building a NightOwl filament changer. Um, we're a little bit more than in the middle of it. We're reaching the downhill side of it. If anybody doesn't know, the NightOwl filament changer, it's two spools. Um, Works off the filamentless rewinder system and a dual extruder setup. Nightwatch dual extruder works with the AFC firmware that they did for Box Turtle. And it can actually be an add-on to your Box Turtle if you want 6 lanes. Miss Lee Marie, welcome. Yes, the raid worked. Steve Clark, welcome. Great having you all here. I appreciate the raid. I did realize at the end of our stream last Saturday that I never built the filament sensors into the extruder, so we're gonna have to pull that out and put some filament sensors in there real quick. This is almost done, and then we'll get to the wiring. As soon as I put this screw in, I'll grab the rest of this and give you guys an idea on what this looks like when it's all put together, because we've got it far enough to know what it looks like. So here's the front of it. This will set on there like this. Then you have PTFE tube that runs like this to one out the back with a dual extruder setup. As your filament goes through, there's a one-way bearing in here that turns these rollers to rewind your filament. But as I said, I forgot to put filament sensors in there. So we're going to need to do that. But first, we need to get some magnets into the bottom of this thing. I do believe I put these all in the same orientation, so we don't have to worry about that. We just go around and glue them all in. Yeah, pop away, you failed. It's going to be a pay cut, sir. It's going to be a pay cut. Take 10% off of whatever I pay you now. Oh, this is going to be stubborn. There we go. Hey, Down Under Maker, welcome. The baby woke up. Hold your baby. Well, pop away. This wasn't even the birthday stream. I tell you what, I was feeling really rough at the end of that stream on Wednesday. I got off and I was so sick. I didn't get back out of bed until Friday. I went in the house, went to bed, and I was done for. Everybody else in the house got sick too, so that was fun. Yeah, it's all right. Everybody's recovering now. It was one of those things that just lasted like 24 to 48 hours, but hit hard while it was there. Yeah, no kidding. They definitely do bring everything home and share it. That was the only nice thing those couple years there doing the homeschooling and everything. Uh, through COVID and whatnot, um, the rate of illness around the house dropped significantly. I tell you what, these parallel pliers are so nice for pushing in magnets. All right, so now that's that is pretty strong for just 8 magnets on the top and 8 magnets on the bottom to pick this whole thing up by the magnets. All right, so filament sensor time. Let's go ahead and pull some screws. I mean, it's not too terribly heavy, but it's got a decent amount of filament in there. Two Bondtech things. I don't know. Let's get a scale and weigh it. 991 grams. Yeah, so Vice Grip does make them. These ones came from Lowe's. I went in there, I can't remember what I was getting, but I was like, let me just walk through the aisle because I had just got a pair of SK Tool ones, but they're much bigger than this. And I wanted a smaller pair. I was like, let me walk over there and just see. They had those on clearance in Lowe's for $3. It's like can't go wrong with that. So yeah, I mean that's almost a kilo that it's picking up with these magnets. I need to get with Jeremy and get the link to wherever he got those magnets from, because the ones you get on uh, AliExpress or Amazon are they're lacking. I used to order the black ones all the time from Fabrico, but every time I've placed an order with them recently, they've been out of stock. Plus, sometimes you need the ones that are conductive, and the black ones are non-conductive. Magnet bearing. Let me just Google that real quick and add that to a bookmark. All right, fantastic. Yeah. So I like to have the N52s. That's what I try to buy. But sometimes you do need some of the weaker ones. So it's nice to have some of the weaker ones. Like N40 something. I can't remember exactly what number it is. But they're nice to have around because sometimes you need ones that aren't quite as strong. Well, while I have so many of you here, can I request that y'all just do me a favor and drop a like on the stream? Helps me out a lot. Now we get to do this thing to rip this all apart. Looks like our filament switch goes right in there. Oh, Lord. This is going to be fun. This thing was a pain in the butt to put together. What are you doing now, camera? Oh, gosh. I just turned this off. Turns itself off when I don't want it to, and turns itself on when I want to. All right. There's those two. Wait, Central, thank you for the subscribe. I appreciate it, man. So, how many of you guys are building the box turtle or any one of the other filament changers, NightOwl, the Enraged Rabbit carrot feeder, Trad Rack? How many of you guys have or are or planning on doing it? You will be soon. Don't knock it. Which one are you going to be building? Uh, box turtle. Where you tried it? Nice. So that's our next project as soon as we get this finished. So there is going to be, we're going to jump from finishing this. We aren't going to get it installed yet onto the Micron for probably another like two streams, I'm gonna say. I need the Micron to do some product testing, so I can't really take that down to start rebuilding it because we're going to rebuild the whole Doom Cube Micron with the purple frame, and we're going to jump over to getting the box turtle running on the Trident. Do I have any more news about them? Are you talking about the ERCF 2.5 beta? I know that some people are working on building it. Looks like a couple people may have it pretty close to running, but I finished ripping the V2 ERCF apart that I started on Wednesday. I finished that up this morning and going to start printing parts. I was going to start printing parts today, but with the weather situation, I didn't want to lose power in the middle of a big plate of parts or something. Jack, you're leaning towards a stealth changer. Nice. Do you have a 2.4 already, or is it going to be a whole fresh new build? Wiki Central, you're building a Micron. Nice. How far along are you on your Micron? All right, here we go. So this is where our filament switches are going to go. Get some switches. What do we got over here? I think I might have some that are ready to go. And if I do this correctly, the wires might even be long enough. It's pretty windy, pop away. Yeah, the stealth changer is not cheap. Uh, I added up; it's a little over for you're looking between $200 to $300 per tool head, plus the cost of your 2.4 kit. How do you like the R1? I love the gantry on R1. I can't wait till that comes to the 2.4. So for those that don't know, the Micron, um, oh crap, there's 4 filament switches on this. Okay. The the Micron R1 gantry, well, I can show you. All right, so on your standard 2.4 gantry, the gantry sits all the way at the back, and there's this space here that your drag chain comes through. So your drag chain comes between your rear extrusion and your X extrusion. On the R1 Micron, uh, trying to get this so you can see. You've got your rear extrusion is forward, your drag chain goes behind it, and then you've got your X gantry. So what makes that useful is if any of you have a CAN bus tool head board or USB tool head board, any of those, and notice that the wires on the back of the CAN bus tool head board can hit into your drag chain. By moving that extrusion forward and your drag chain back, it prevents those wires on your tool head board from running into your drag chain. The live idler and pins, I did not do that. I did do the bearings on top of the AB motors in the back, but I didn't do the live idler pins. Looks like I'm going to be needing to order more switches in the near future. All right, we've got 2 of them. Let's depin this one, or this isn't the right connector anyway, so we'll just cut it off. Let's get some ball bearings out. They do. They definitely do go fast. So, drop our ball bearing in there. Feed our wires through here. And get some self-tapping screws out. That ain't long enough. Yeah, having a few millimeters to spare will not hurt anything. It is never fun when you crash a tool head because one of the wires on your probe or something came off. Done that a couple times on a tap. Yeah, absolutely, Miss Lee Marie. I actually have an ERCF as well. So I'll have, well, by the time it's all said and done, I'll have 4 filament changers, 2 versions of the Rage Rabbit Carrot Feeder, the Box Turtle, and the NightOwl. I wish I could get a little bit of time trying out one of the Bamboo Labs so I could have some sort of comparison there, but alas, that does not seem likely. Yeah, so I don't know. I think I still have the top hat that I printed, but it's in black maybe Galaxy Black and Polymaker Metallic Blue. It's not exactly going to go with your color scheme. Otherwise, I'd tell you you could have it. Yeah, and I don't have a vested interest in any of them. So there's a lot of folks that with opinions that have vested interests in it, one way or the other. Not that it's bad. I mean, we need those guys to make all the projects that we're building, but it's a lot like asking Steve which is the best trident. A little biased, which is to be expected. All right, sounds like that switch is working. Oh Lord, this one's not going to work. That one's bent at a 90-degree angle. So we're going to need to make 3 of these. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't know which way would be cheaper. It's a lot of filament to print this top hats. So it might be cheaper just to make it out of extrusions and some acrylic. Uh, yeah, printing a bunch of solid top hat pieces. You run through some filament fast. I wish there was a good option out there, like pre-made, maybe with LDO making that tap changer mount. Maybe there'll be some other stuff coming from LDO for the stealth changer project. Looks like I also need to buy some 2.5 self-tapping screws here soon too. Well, 95 is definitely more expensive, but if you went and got maybe a little bit less, because you should be able to take your top panel that's already on your 2.4 and use that as the very top one. So you just need some around the sides, which you could probably get a piece from Lowe's or Home Depot that's 2 foot by 2 foot and make them and save yourself a lot of money that way rather than $80 on a whole sheet of plexiglass. All right, we need some wire. We're gonna need connectors too, so we'll get the whole thing down. All right. Let's see what we can find in here. You guys all save all your scrap wires when you're trimming stuff down? Yeah, no, there's nothing wrong. If you're going to use it in the future, I was just saying for the average person building one who may not have the room to keep it or okay. All right. Oh, so that's probably good for the one side. That wind is really kicking outside. Who was that during your stream, Miss Lee Marie, that had to go because they lost power? Was that just push print from the storms? All right, there's one switch. Oh, just another 3D printing guy. Well, I may not be your dad, but I am three people's dad. And sometimes they do projects out here with me. The littlest one was doing projects earlier. I was cleaning and moving the handle and wheels on toolbox, and she was being an artist. So she was out here painting with me and investigating, watching, and observing, making sure that I was changing the wheels and the handle on the toolbox around properly. I didn't make a single mistake thanks to her. Pop away, she might replace you. She's 5, but she did a really good job of making sure I didn't make any mistakes. So the original plan for the channel was to do videos working with the kids and doing various different things with them. Wanted to redo a car with my son, but looks like his plans to relocate here to Ohio now that he's graduating has changed, which is fine. Um, Disappointing, but fine. So we'll not be building a car. Um, and there's some weird people out there. So uh, the plan to include the girls in videos kind of went out the window because of weird, creepy people doing weird, creepy things. Oh, I'm sorry. I know soldering up mouse switches is not the most riveting content in the world. Yeah, Kegel, there are definitely a lot of creeps out there. I guess in fairness, there always has been, but it seems like they've gotten more brazen in the recent years. All right. I do believe that's the extent of the soldering required. Let's go ahead and get this cleaned up and out of the way. How they come up with the names, man, I have no idea. I wondered that about this one in particularly. Uh, I know Robert was asked about the box turtle. Um, but yeah, some of them are some are a little bit of a head scratcher as to how in the world they came up with that particular name. All right. Micro switch. There's that one. So looks like there's a preload switch, one to let it know that when it retracts, it's cleared the the Y part in the back, and then another one in the Y part to let it know that the filament's loaded past there. I do need to get the filament sensor for the orbiter 2.5 to put onto the micron so I have a tool head sensor. So I've been thinking about, so the colors on the micron are the Midnight Meteorite, the Prince of Purple, both from West 3D, as well as white. Oh no, you need a cutter. So the Anthead toolhead has a filament cutter now. It's up on the Anthead GitHub. It's called the Leaf Cutter. Came out within, well, got released to the GitHub within the last couple weeks. The loading and tangle sensor can be a pain. The Anthead toolhead is. So that's the thing. I've got to reprint that in order to put that leaf cutter on there. And currently, let me get the iPhone back out. The color scheme on this is the Prince of Purple on the ducks with Midnight Meteorite in center and this white. Now, I have a roll of the Violet Void filament that I have not opened yet, and they're now packaging that in the Mylar bags. So I don't even know what it looks like. I've seen Alan's video on the guitar, but it's hard to tell from a video how that looks. And I'm debating opening it to use somewhere on the ant head tool head. Kind of wish I had an Galileo 2 tool head to use for it. So I could print it. But I'm debating whether or not to open that and see if I can't fit that color in there as well. Because these are the purple extrusions we are going to be rebuilding that with. It's still going to keep the white Doom extrusions on the outside, but the black Micron extrusions on the inside are going to be replaced with this lovely purple. I don't know if anybody's printed anything with that violet void or not. Maybe we should just open it and see what the color looks like. What do you guys think? Should we just go ahead and open it? I mean, regardless, it's a Dolos material, so it's going to have to get dried regardless. Kegel, the filament sensor works great, but loading filament and the tangle sensor can be a pain. There's a little steel ball that interacts with the filament that can be difficult to push the filament through. Yeah, all the filament sensors use metal ball. As you can see, like each one of these do. Open it, Shrimp Father. All right. There we go. It is nice that they started putting this in the Mylar bags. Maybe that'll help some. I mean, it's not a huge deal. You just got to know that it's got to be dried and dry it. And all right. Oh wow, that is that is a color, boy. So that is that's quite something. What do you guys think? Should we work this somehow into the ant head tool head? That is a great color. Like I said, I really wish I had another uh, Galileo 2 extruder. I'd use that instead of the orbiter. Then I could get some more printed parts in there. So Jack, that is the bag that just came in is resealable, and it is an extremely thick uh Mylar bag. Like, I've got some of the Polymaker bags over here, and I'd say it's probably 1.5 times as thick as the Polymaker bags, the Polymaker Mylar bags. That is a nice bag. Yeah, so they do include that Ziploc bag, and honestly, I mean, it works pretty good for what it is. Um, I've got vacuum seal bags that don't do a better job than a regular Ziploc bag does. So it's nice that they include it. Um, yeah, they've got one in here too. But that Mylar bag is nice. So, Dan, if you happen to see this stream, or Jeremy, Miss Lee Marie, if you're here, kudos on the new bag. That's fantastic. All right, more filament sensors. I seem to be missing one. Where did I put it? There it is. So, okay, these are the little ball bearings you're talking about that are in those. Yeah, I understand, Jack. I mean, but they are taking feedback and they're clearly improving, um, trying to fix things, which I commend. I really like their filament. I tend to default to it anymore. I think 95% of my filament is between Ambrosia and Polymaker. Oop, that was a cold solder joint. So I lied. We're not done soldering. Yeah, I have a difficult time getting that orbiter to load, period. I'm also not a huge fan of the um, on the Orbiter 2.5 that I have how the PTFE tube gets locked in there. It is extremely difficult to get that out. It's not like a normal ECAS fitting up there. Yeah, holds in there well, very well, too well, in my opinion, or at least for what I do. I don't normally use load and unload macros, but I have to on that one. That's one thing I like about the Galileo 2 standalone or wristwatch G2 extruders is that knob on the front and how easy it makes loading and unloading filament. And just turn that knob and away you go. You have to remove the orbiter for tool head cutter. What tool head cutter were you using that that you couldn't use the orbiter? All right. So we have 4 filament switches installed. Now to put this all back together. Again, you're getting jams when you're trying to unload Kegel. What length are these screws? Oh, were you just switching to get to the default for like the box turtle or something pop away? Okay, I could tell you what speeds I unload mine at, but I turned off all my machines earlier because of storms, so I didn't want to risk things getting fried. Okay, clearly that's too long. What is going on here? What size is this screw? 20. What size is this one? 25. So 20 is too long, 25 is too short. Well, I guess too long is better than too short, and we can just deal with whatever's poking out the bottom. Kegel, you know what you can do is if you go onto my GitHub, I've got all my printer profiles saved on my GitHub there. You can just go to the unload macro and see what speeds I unload at. Because I haven't had any issues with that on the Orbiter, the LGX Lite, on the Standard Clockwork 2, or the Galileo 2. I mean, obviously, every machine's different, Kegel, but if you just wanted to look as like some sort of reference for starting point or whatever. All right, pop away. Have fun walking the pups. Just notice that there is. Let me bring y'all down closer to the action. Is that better? A little closer to the action. There's these heat sets in here, and there's a hole underneath of the extruder motor, and I didn't screw that down. So shame on me, I suppose. Ah, crap. I forgot something yet again. I forgot to put the levers in here. Get these put in. Get these screws put away before I throw them all over the floor. All right, Kegel. All right, there we go. Get this all screwed together. Oh. Some more screws. These are the ones I missed the first time. All right. There's like way too much tension on those. Back that off a bit. There we go. All right, so this goes in here like such. So I need to put this way. And then this long screw comes in through here. Kind of hard to set the backlash on this one. No way to get into that gear. All right, there's that. Clean up some of this mess. I need to get a pin out for this tool head board so I know which way to wire all these switches. I made a mistake here. Put this on the short wires on the wrong side. Will they reach? They absolutely will not. With these reach from over here. Yes, but just. And I really do not want to rip this all back apart to switch those switches around. How on earth did I make that mistake? And wire's going to need to be extended too. Ooh, there's GPIO pins down here. Will they reach to those? That is a negative. I'm not going to rip that apart. I'm going to take and I'm going to extend those wires. That is what we will do. Because I am not spending another half hour or more ripping that apart again. Let me find a suitable piece of wire. In this bucket of wire. And we're going to extend these. All right. I don't know if any of you guys ever use these or not, but these things are awesome. They come in all different sizes, but they are heat shrink tubing with solder in the middle, and you just heat them up and it does your splice for you, solders it all together. Take and slide your one wire through. Give your wire a nice little twist. That colored part on there, it's white. On here, it's yellow. But that's another material. Makes it supposed to make it watertight too, I do believe. Yeah, waterproof. So that's nice. Get our hot air soldering iron. Just give that a little heat. Let solder will flow. Shrink your shrink tubing, and you're done. Just like that. Splice. Yeah, it's an adhesive sealer. So saw them use them at work one day. I'm like, well, we're gonna have to go ahead and order some of those. These little tiny white ones are for 26 to 24 gauge, and the red ones are 22 to 18. And it goes all the way up to stuff for 10 gauge. I have these used in a few different places on a few different printers. Uh, some of the ones on the 2.4 have been in service for over 2 years with no issues. Don't knock it. I don't know if I said hello to you earlier or not. I'm not sure if I saw you earlier, but if not, welcome. All right, so that takes care of that. Then whatever we don't need on here, we'll create an extension for this fan. But in the meantime, let's get this all put back together. So we can get this all wired up. I don't know. I've not. So hold on a second. The ones on the 2.4, I might have. There might be one on the back of the canvas toolhead board. Now it's not flexing in and of itself, but that toolhead board's moving all over the place. The other ones, did some work. I use them a lot to do it's not the right way to do it, but take two fans, solder them together into one wire. So I know that there's ones on the back of the tool head on the Trident and in the electronics bay on the Trident. So, in putting this together this way, you see those heat sets don't exactly line up. Means this PTFE tube is slightly too short. Oh, goodness gracious. This one does not want to come out. Oh, no, you don't want that in a drag chain. No, no. Oh, we're going to be difficult, aren't we? Little shark bite connection does not want to let go of this piece of PTFE tube in here. There we go. So we need some pieces ever so much longer than these ones. All right. We'll go ahead and do a nice little chamfer to the ends of these. So I'll tell you what's odd about streaming, and it takes a little bit to get used to, because I still haven't gotten used to it, is one, doing things in frame for the camera, and two, normally I would have come out here this morning, started working on stuff, just, you know, ADHD, worked on it a little bit, put it down, went and did something else, come back, done it, worked on it some more. But when you're doing it on stream, you kind of can't just pick it up, put it down, Do it whenever you want. Get bored in the evening, come out and work on it. You can't leave off on it in one spot. Come back next week and have another 5 hours worth of work done to it that you did off stream. So let me lift you guys back up here. We'll get the back of this button back up. Now I suppose we work on getting this wiring done. There's one more little part on the back of this here. Little holder holds 4-prong Molex connector for your CAN bus and whatnot. So you can plug it in. But we'll put that on when we put the plug on there. Let me pull up the NightOwl GitHub and see if I can find a wiring diagram for this. Oh, wait a minute. That's right. The manual doesn't load all the way to the end. Go into files and find it there. All right. Let me give you guys a view of this so you can see what we're looking at. All right. Here's our, see if we can figure out where we're at. Excellent. It doesn't give us a wiring thing. So I guess we figure it out on our own. Excellent. Excellent. All right. So there's that. Let's see. If we go to who makes this board? Enraged. Bisect board. Which version is this? V1. I'll get you this screen in just a second here. No, trying to find pinout for this thing. No. That would be great. If you gave me a pinout. Why? Why would you not give the pinout for your board? All right, here. Tell me if I'm missing something on this here. So we've got the V1 board, and I am not seeing a pinout. I need the pinout for these pins. I've got a ridiculously limited hardware config. Hardware. I've got a schematic. And silk screen, which doesn't tell you what any of the GPIO's assignments for any of the pins are. Under images, I've got this image. Is it just like GPIO 25, 23, 22? I mean, that's the only thing I can think. Got a make menu config. That's it. I'm thinking these have got to be the GPIO numbers for it. Oh, Lord. I love it when manufacturers, don't provide documentation. All right. Well, I also need to find some heat sinks for our steppers. Stepper drivers, rather. All these need to have the ground going to one spot. So yeah, do that. I combine all these grounds to one. Any of you guys see one of these pins that's not 5 volts? 3 volts, 5 volts, 3 volts, 3 volts. I need 24 volts. For the fan. None of those have 24 volts. So I guess I need to find a 5-volt fan somewhere. RGB encoder and stop. That, or I just full send it and have the fan going all the time. How would you guys combine 5 ground wires into one? Ideas? So just put them all into a one of these and solder them all together. Solder them all together and heat shrink them. Away go. Well, there you go, Kegel. Excellent idea. So this is what happens when you get frustrated. You just don't even think. Now, I don't have one of these that does 6. So maybe I'll just take this, plug it into its own end stop pin, and do the other 4 together. I think that's what we'll do. Now, I don't need all the positives together. They'll all go to separate GPIO pins, but all the grounds go together, Jack. Well, guys, since Steve's not here today, we're going to throw wire management out the window and just do the thing. Yeah. Do we know who else? I know Nero's going with him. Did we ever figure out who the third mystery guest was? I was kind of wondering if it wasn't RCF, but I'm not sure. This needs to be stripped a little longer. I noticed that Big Tree Tech's announcement thing highlighted Boron in like their banner thing. So I was kind of wondering if maybe it wasn't max. We'll leave myself plenty of wire in case I want to come back and do this nicer in the future. I don't have a ferrule crimper. That's the only crimper like I don't have. I need to get one. I've got a couple random ferrules, and every time I need to do it, I just get out regular crimper and just crimp all the way down. Home Depot has them for 35 bucks. I don't have a Home Depot in town. I have a Lowe's and a Menards. I do have next day Amazon though, so there's always that option. Yeah, Menards is really hit and miss on hand tools often. Some of their stuff, they have things that Lowe's never has, and other things that you would expect to be in any hardware store, Menards just doesn't have. Oh, my back is killing me. I don't have a six-sided Wago, but I have another end stop, just a plain old end stop port I can plug the last one into. I may have grab too thick of a gauge of wire for this. Oh. All right, so it looks like ground is at the bottom. All the way over here. Now, do all the signal wires. Well, went too far with that one. Stuck the wire too far into the terminal. It's so hard to see on these things. All right, that's better. All right, now we need a 4-lane. Make some notes. All right, so we're going to plug the lane 1 pre-extruder into GPIO 28. There's the button. So you all can see the lousy pinout. And we will do lane 2 pre-extruder to GPIO 26. Lane 1 post extruder to GPIO 6. Lane 2 post extruder to GPIO 4. We'll need that later on for the config. And then lane 1 post extruder I grabbed a 5 connector instead of a 4, so that's nice. I can't count apparently. That's 4. All right. Last one. Plug this in. They can plug this into one of our end stop pins. Let's go back here and call. All right. End stop, second down from top. So the middle pin and the pin furthest away from the steppers. Just need to repin this. Want to get that plugged in. Oh, good Lord. This got a little messed up. No, no. What are we adjusting? That was in the right spot. We need this camera. It's not right. There we are. All right. Sorry about that. So now we've got the GPIO plugged in down here to those GPIO pins. We've got this last end stop plugged into the end stop port. Stepper motor's plugged in. I'm going to see if I have a 5-volt fan somewhere at some point here. But other than that, I think we're going to call it for today. My back's killing me. Take one more look at how this all is going to look. So here we have it. You'll have PTFE tube that runs from there to there. I think that looks pretty good. We'll figure out what we're going to do for the tool head sometime this week, maybe. Get some more parts printed. But I'm liking how that looks. I think that's going to look good. Let's see what it looks like with some rolls of filament sitting on it. If that works. So this is on the Filamentalist GitHub. There's a link to Steve Labs or SELEAD Sealed Lab. They make a kit for the Filamentalist rewinders. Comes with all the hardware you need, the one-way bearings, the screws, these pieces of rubber that go on there. I think I paid under $3 per side for it. I think it's normally like $12 a side, but with AliExpress, if you kind of just create a new account, everything gets real cheap all of a sudden for a couple orders. So that's what I did. I think between the two of them, I paid less than $5. Well, guys, those of you who stuck around this long, I appreciate you. Appreciate some of you guys that have been here for every stream. That's awesome. I enjoy hanging out and chatting with you guys, working on some of these projects. One, it motivates me to work on some of this stuff even when I don't necessarily have the motivation. And two, it gets lonely just standing out here doing this stuff by your lonesome. So I enjoy having you guys to chat with. Um, if you haven't already, please hit the like button on your way out. And we'll see you back here again Saturday, same time. If something comes up, maybe I'll sneak in another stream, maybe Monday morning or something, after the kids go to school. If I don't have anything else to do, we'll see if the old lady's dragging me shopping. Have a good day. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.